This is one of the best skills for toddler parents and parents in general, to be honest, but it just starts becoming really important in toddlerhood and becomes more and more important as their child grows. And it's called emotional self awareness. Before I tell you all about it and why it's important and how to cultivate it in yourself and your child, I want to say hello, welcome, or welcome back. I'm Valerie. I'm a therapist specialized in birth to six mental health and sleep. And I talk all about your child's sleep, emotional, behavioral, and social needs and challenges. So, welcome or welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. So, emotional self awareness is the ability to identify and understand your emotions and how they impact your behavior. And why do you want to have this ability and why do you even care? It's because it is required in order for a child to have it. And why do we want our child to be able to self regulate? Why is self regulation one of the most important skills and developments for a toddler, preschooler, child, etc.? Because if your child cannot tolerate frustration, they're not going to be able to learn how to read. If your child cannot problem solve, they're not going to be able to get that toy without getting into a fight with another child every time. If your child cannot get along with others, they're not going to be able to work in a group. In order to be a functional person in society, we want to be able to regulate our emotions in a healthy way that doesn't hurt us or hurt others. We want to be able to get along with other people because that kind of requires it's kind of required to get through life and to get through work and to basically be a functional member of society. And this all starts early on, and in babyhood and toddlerhood it comes down to the parents' ability to regulate themselves. But before we can regulate ourselves, even more important and even more foundational is the awareness of our own emotions and how they're impacting our behavior. So we're taking it a step back. Awareness is required for your ability to regulate your own emotions. You cannot regulate your emotions if you're not sure they're there or if you don't know how they're actually impacting your behavior. Why? Because you want to be able to respond to your child how you would like to respond or how the parent you want to be would respond rather than automatically. The automatic response sometimes is not the response that you actually would like to have. And then afterwards, you might be feeling really down on yourself. So, regulating your own emotions requires your awareness of them. And also, it is required for your child to learn to regulate theirs. They learn by watching us, how we're doing things. If we're not doing it ourselves, we're not going to be able to help them do that. Also, you cannot help somebody else calm down if you're not calm yourself, especially not your child who's basically biologically wired to be connected with how you're feeling, not necessarily what you're saying or doing. This is especially true for like babies, toddlers, preschoolers. They're really connected to the unspoken body language, your voice, and how you're actually feeling. Is just how nature designed it. Our brains are connected. And basically, what that means is if you're not feeling calm, if you're feeling wound up, angry, frustrated, anxious, your child's brain is going to pick up on that alert or alarm. And when it comes to sleep, for example, they're going to have a hard time going to sleep. If you think about it, it actually makes a lot of logical sense because if the person who is in charge of taking care of you is feeling on alert or an alarm for whatever reason, that's not necessarily the best time to go to sleep from like an evolutionary biological standpoint. If the person responsible for your safety doesn't feel safe, that is not a good time to go to sleep, right? So it's really important to remember that you can't expect your child to learn to regulate their emotions if they're not seeing you regulate your own. And your ability to regulate your own starts with the awareness of them being there and of how they're impacting your behavior. Your emotional self-awareness can help you also to tune in to your child's emotions. So your ability and how good you are at tuning into your own feelings and states and how they're impacting your behavior is also going to help you tune in to your child's inner world and feelings and how they're impacting their behavior. And that can help you respond to them in a more helpful way. If you've seen my other videos, you know that it's essential not to focus on the outside behavior, but to try to understand what's going on underneath, what's actually causing them to behave a certain way. Behavior is communicating to us that there is a certain need that our child has. So, based on the behavior, you might not always know what to do. But if you get to what is underneath the behavior, which is usually a feeling or something, it's going to be easier for you to support your child with what they actually need. So, your own emotional self awareness can help you also be more aware of your child's emotions. That makes sense. Did you like this topic? Do you want me to elaborate on any of this? Do you have any questions? Let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to answer and maybe even post about it more. But for now, thank you for listening. I wish you sweet cuddles and dreams, and thank you so much for being here.